In this video, we'll be going over my most called play in the nickel normal formation, which is cover 4 quarters. I really like cover 4 this year just because clouds aren't very good, and these outside quarters are really nice. They're pretty good at deterring your opponent from throwing any sort of corner routes. They will get corner routes will get open against this, but like I said, it's a nice deterrent just because the clouds are pretty horrible. They can get burnt over the top pretty easily by just about any corner route in the game, which can lead to easy touchdowns for your opponent. So by running quarters, you're preventing those huge plays. You're kind of deterring your opponent from throwing. You can still give them up, but if you have somebody pretty decent there, I would definitely recommend running the cover 4 quarters just because it is the best way I found personally to defend any sort of corner route. So I will run cover 4 quarters against any sort of tight formation as well against trip side end. In this video, I'll be showing you guys why I run this against trip side end. And then in my next video, I'll be showing you guys why I run it against formations like tight flex and tight slots. But with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into it. I'm going to go ahead and call the cover 4 quarters, and then we're going to come out and show you guys a couple of different plays out of the trip side end. Controller disconnected again. This thing is proving to be very difficult for me. Let's go ahead and unpause the game. All right, back to trip side end. We're going to call it double sail. And then, all right, so this is the stock play art. Again, it's going to be the same setup, man. All we're going to do is pinch the defense, which pinches our line, pinches our linebackers, and presses. And then one of the things I like to do is drag Brown up. I kind of like to just drag him up in this direction. That way, if your opponent does quick snap inside zone, if you let go of him, he'll instantly shoot that gap by himself. I didn't know if you guys know that, but that's a nice little pro trick you guys can use. If you think your opponent's going to run it inside zone, one of the things you can do is kind of just stutter step around with your safety, kind of just slowly drag him into the box, and when you bring him forward down on the angle, almost the entire defense is going to, or the entire offensive line is going to completely ignore him, and he'll be able to instantly shoot the gap by himself. Just make sure you're clicking off. So that's one of the things I like to do just in case my opponent does do that. And I also like to do it for another reason, which is to defend the quick seam. Again, this is just an inside quarter, so I'll drag him up to right about here. And then all you really have to do is stand in this gap. You can stand a little bit to this side and shoot the run gap in through here, or you can stand in the gap if you think you're going to pass, or you can come here and then seal the edge if they do decide to run. It's up to you. 3 different ways you could do it, whatever works best for you, whatever you're most comfortable with. But one of the things I really like about cover 4 quarters is it is a match defense, so it's really effective against trips. A lot of the times I will run a stock, and I'll show you guys exactly what it looks like against level sail, a really popular play. So right there, pretty much everything is bagged. As you guys notice, that quarter route on the right completely bags the tight end corner route. It's hard to defend trips just because there are a lot of flood concepts. In this play, there's a flood concept on the left and the right. But if you guys notice that the inside quarters completely bagged the deeper corner routes. Notice the left and the right here. As you can see, the right is bagged by the quarter and the left is also bagged by the quarter. All we have to do is just guard the middle of the field. One thing I will note is that this running back route, hard flats are pretty terrible this year. This quarter flat is not great at getting out there. One thing you could do is just manually hard flat this quarter flat, and then again we'll just drag him up, and then I'll show you guys. You guys can see the difference this time of guarding the table route. There, he actually gets out there if they throw that. He probably won't pick it off just because, like I said, hard flats are so terrible. But he can get a hand on it, knock it down, or make a nice tackle for at most a 1 or 2 yard gain. So that's a really effective way to defend this. I'll show you guys what it looks like against, it's called PA shot wheel, another really popular play. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to spy the end so he doesn't come in right away, just so I can show you guys what the coverage looks like. Right here, again, you're just guarding the middle. The wheel route's bagged. That deep crosser's kind of bagged. I will note, though, again, the problem with running this match defense is if your opponent really knows what they're doing, is they can have some easy one-play touchdowns. So there are some things you can easily do to prevent that. And one of the things I like to do is go ahead and middle third this guy. If you guys noticed last play, that sort of S route came over open over the middle of the field. So one thing you can do to kind of keep the match defense but also prevent any sort of easy touchdowns is middle third this guy right here, the inside quarter. I'll show you guys what it looks like again you guys will be able to see this time it doesn't actually get open. It doesn't actually defeat the cover quarters. As you can see right there, that middle third actually plays that X receiver this time. You don't have to worry about getting bombed over the top. And yeah, so that's one really nice thing. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a better crossing formation. PA shot wheel was kind of nerfed this year. The crossing route's not as good. So we're going to go ahead and hop in PA counter go, which probably has a better crossing route. And we'll show you guys how I like to defend that. Because if you guys will notice by the way I run this cover 4 quarters, if I fade the tight end, basically this is what happens. So as you can see, at the very end, the quarter kind of plays it. The inside quarter kind of plays it, but then he lets him go as the crossing route develops. That crossing route is going to be wide open in the corner. Your opponent can throw it if they get enough time in the pocket and get an easy touchdown. So one of the things I like to do to defend against that is cancel the match, and you cancel the match by pressing Y and then LB. Triangle and L1 if you're on PS4. Basically what that does is it tells your team to protect the sticks. So it does two things. One, it tells your opponents or your defenders to guard at not only the first down line, but it also tells them to stop matching. Hold up. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm protecting sticks now. I'm still dragging the guy up. I'm still making the same adjustments. But this time what's going to happen is that outside quarter is not going to match. It's going to go ahead back and stay in that zone. So that deep crosser does not get open. I'll show you guys what that looks like. So right here, you can see that deep crosser is actually completely bagged this time. The quarter plays it. So it's kind of a cat and mouse type game, a chess match between you and your opponent. So you can run this match defense when they're running a lot of flood concepts, a lot of verts, anything over the middle of the field. But if your opponent starts adding in these deep crossers, that is one thing you can definitely take advantage of. Protecting the sticks to cancel the match and using that outside quarter to defend the deep corner route. Just be wary that when you do protect sticks, the wide receiver, or not the wide receiver, but the tight end will start getting open on that corner route. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and protect sticks, and we'll run level sail this time. As you can see here, that tight end route is actually bagged pretty well, but if they do get a pass lead or if they have a sharper corner route in the field, maybe they have like Zach Ertz with the route specialist, they can get a much sharper cut. So just be careful with that, man. You can start putting clouds on Vander Esch. You can go user it. It's up to you. Again, it is a cat and mouse game, but this is a very, very simple way to utilize match defense to completely shut down what was one of the most popular offensive formations last year. And it's still very effective. A lot of people don't really run this, at least from a pro player perspective, but you will see it a decent amount online. And if you don't see this, you will see trips tight end flex, where that tight end is flexed out. You'll still see PA crossers and whatnot. So trips is still a very popular formation. This quarters will work against any sort of trips formation. So this is a really nice way to not make a ton of adjustments. Just come out there, let the computer kind of make some adjustments for you, and also bag a very potent offense at the same time. So I hope you guys like that. In the next video, I'm going to be going over how I defend tight formations. So yeah.